Gemini, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of October. So before I jump into it, this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign, which is the ruler of your first house. It's how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then also your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally. And so listening to all three will kind of give you that better picture on how the month is going to play out. I'm just going to jump right in. We have an eclipse here on the 2nd. So it's the new moon in the sign of Libra. We are closing out the Aries Libra eclipse season, moving into Pisces Virgo. And during this new moon, you'll have the sun and moon. They're at the same degree point of the sky. So complete blend of energy. This is a lot of expressing how you feel about things. For you, the sign of Libra is in your 5th house. It's the house of fun, it's children, it's hobbies, it's short-term relationships. Think of everything that you enjoy doing outside of work. That would be within the 5th house here. And so I love to see that energy because it's a lot of that balanced type of expression, how you feel. It's not even just there. The sun and moon are also conjunct Mercury in the same sign. And so these would be conversations that you're having with other people. What do you enjoy? How much do you enjoy doing this? It's very balanced. It's very positive here. The sun and moon will also square Mars in Cancer. So this one, because it is obstacles or challenges, so during this new moon, you're going to have a hard time taking any kind of action as it relates to your personal finances. But with a new moon, this energy doesn't last for very long. So it's a couple of days, and then the moon continues to move on. It changes signs every couple of days, so it won't be around forever. Then on the 8th, we have Venus trine Mars. And so this is going to happen at 6:21 in the morning Eastern time. And this one felt significant just because of the relationship between Venus and Mars. Venus likes to bring things together. Mars likes to separate things. And so you can already see just how different the dynamic is here. This is a trine energy. So this is an easy blend of energy. Venus is in the sign of Scorpio. So these would be deep, intense kind of connections, because Venus also rules relationships here. So it would be relationships with other people or the way that you interact and connect with other people. Mars in Cancer is in your 2nd house of personal finances. And so anything that's happening, anything that you're trying to maybe focus on in your daily life, these deep, intense connections in your daily life, it's easily going to flow with whatever action you want to take when it relates to your personal finances. We also have Venus in Scorpio trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces. In fact, Mars does the same thing because they're in a triangle. They're all in these water signs. And so these deep connections that you have in your personal life, it's creating, well, not creating, it's going to easily flow with whatever work you're doing in your career, because that Saturn retrograde in Pisces is in your career and public reputation house. And I love to see where this is going because there's something really transformative happening in your daily life that has a positive influence on your professional life. And so does Mars in Cancer. Mars in Cancer will also trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so you can really see whatever action you're taking as it relates to your personal finances also completely blends with whatever you're trying to accomplish in your career. We also have Venus in Scorpio trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces, as well as Mars in Cancer. So it's not even just about the work that you're doing in your career. It's also about your goals and your dreams, your aspirations overall. These changes, these deep connections that you have in your daily life, the actions that you're taking in your personal finances have a direct correlation. They easily blend with whatever goals and dreams that you've set forth. What are your career goals? What are your aspirations? They're all fully aligned here. And then we do have Venus in Scorpio opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these deep, intense connections that you have in your daily life, they are going to be opposite any kind of changes that are happening to you internally. It's more of, okay, I'm focused on the connection, maybe not so much on my individual self at this moment. That's where the opposition really comes into play. And then on the 9th, we have Jupiter station retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So that's going to happen at 3:04 in the morning Eastern time. Now Jupiter retrograde, so Jupiter is the most benefic planet, but it's actually at its fall. It's at its weakest point right now, sitting in the sign of Gemini, because it rules Sagittarius and they're opposite each other. And so it's not as strong as it could be. And usually Jupiter, it's expansive. It's outside of you. It's like, let's grow everything outside. But now that it's retrograde, it's about growing inside. And so Jupiter retrograde in Gemini for you, it's sitting in your first house. So this is about your own internal personal growth, getting down into the details. What is it that you want for yourself? What do you need to do to grow and expand? This Jupiter in Gemini will trine the Sun in Libra. And so how does that flow with the way that you're expressing yourself with your kids or through some sort of medium like an art or something like that? Because there is a full alignment there. It's an easy blend of energy. We do have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, trine Mercury in Libra. So it's not even just about the way that you're expressing yourself. It's also about the conversations that you're having with children, with maybe something through your hobbies. I keep going to art. Art's always like kind of my go-to when it comes to these things because art is a medium. You can express yourself through art in some sort of way here. And so that would be something where it's helping you to grow and expand on a personal level and then easily blends because you're doing something that you enjoy doing. You're expressing yourself through something that you enjoy. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, sextile Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so this is, Chiron retrograde in Aries is connected to a wound in your friendships. And so what's happening here is your personal growth and expansion. It's creating an opportunity for you to heal that wound that has been coming to the surface. This wouldn't be something new. This has actually been coming up for the majority of the year, or at least the last 6 months that I can remember off the top of my head. And so it's just giving you that opportunity. This is something that you would have to take an action on. It's not just going to organically happen. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, square Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and we'll also square Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Pisces for you is in your career and public reputation. And so this kind of personal internal growth, it's going to create some challenges to the work that you've already done in your career, towards your career goals. It just seems like you need to do something else for yourself before you can continue that. That's what this energy feels like. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is opposite the moon in Sagittarius. Not a surprise. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite signs. And so this personal inner growth that you're trying to achieve within yourself, it's going to be opposite how you feel overall about your relationship with another person. And this is where like a me versus we kind of comes into play again. And so that's the kind of push-pull. You can find that happy medium. You just have to work with the energy. And then we have a big one happening here. So we do have Pluto stationed direct in the sign of Capricorn. This happens on the 11th at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is it. Once it leaves Capricorn next month, it's not coming back. We will not see this again in our lifetime. And so Pluto in Capricorn is a lot of transformation as it relates to structures and strategies that you have in play. And it was retrograde, which meant we were doing a lot of evaluation, figuring out what needs to stay, what needs to maybe come back in or maybe be established in the first place. And this Pluto and Capricorn energy is sitting in your 8th house of transformation. And so Pluto, 8th house, very similar energy. And Capricorn, what kind of structures do you need to put in place here? This Pluto in Capricorn will conjunct the moon in Aquarius. And so it's going to fully align with whatever you feel like you need in order to grow and expand and change yourself. Because that Aquarius energy is about liberating yourself from any restrictions, but that 9th house is for growth and expansion. And so there's been changes taking place that are going to help you grow and expand. And we're going to see that continue next month when Pluto moves back into Aquarius, where it will stay for roughly 20 years. Pluto in Capricorn will also trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which means these changes that are taking place, these kind of new structures that you're putting in place for your own person, they're going to easily blend with whatever changes are happening to you internally. So you can kind of see where all these changes, all this transformation is really starting to settle into something really solid. It's rebuilding your foundation. That's exactly what this is doing here. Pluto in Capricorn will also sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so these changes that are taking place, this transformation that you're going through, it's going to create an opportunity for you to have the career that you want here. Pluto in Capricorn will also square Mercury in Libra. And so these changes, this transformation that you're undergoing right now, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to communicating in a really balanced way. Even if it is through some sort of art medium, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge, but it's not going to be around forever because, again, Pluto is going to be changing signs. All these planets are going to be moving. Mercury is one of those faster moving planets, so it's not going to be in this energy for long. Pluto in Capricorn will square Chiron retrograde in Aries, which means this transformation that you're undergoing, it's going to create obstacles or challenges to healing that wound connected to your friendships. And so it's just more, now's not the time. It's really hard to stay balanced when you're going through a transformation, which is where you're seeing all of the friction come into play. It's either you're balanced and you're having a difficult time transforming, or you're transforming and you're having a difficult time staying balanced. It's because everything's changing. And so it's about one or the other. And as soon as the dust settles, that's when things can grow and expand. But we're in this kind of transition right now. And you can kind of see it here too. Pluto in Capricorn opposite Mars in Cancer. And so this transformation that you're undergoing, it's going to be opposite taking any kind of action as it relates to your personal finances. This Pluto in Capricorn could relate to the money that you earn, could relate to your spouse's income if you're married. It's just going to be opposite how you feel about your finances, the action that you want to take as it relates to your personal finances. It's because there's changes happening in this other area of your life. And until that settles, it makes it really difficult to take action somewhere else that would have a connection to it. And then on the 13th, we have Mercury enter the sign of Scorpio. So that's going to happen at 3:24 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when Mercury enters Scorpio, Scorpio is deep, it's intense, it is definitely a transformational type of energy. It's ruled by Pluto, so it's that kind of energy. Also highly sexualized, I'm just putting that out there too. And so Mercury in Scorpio would be these kind of deep, intense conversations that you're having. For you, Scorpio is in your daily life, and so that's exactly what this is about. These conversations would be happening in your daily life. This Mercury in Scorpio will conjunct the Sun in Libra, and so that's going to fully align and fully blend with expressing yourself in a very balanced way when it comes to children, when it comes to your hobbies, anything that's of interest to you. Mercury in Scorpio will trine Moon in Aquarius, and so these deep kind of transformative conversations in your daily life, they're going to easily flow with how you feel as far as what you need to do to grow and expand, or maybe the growth and expansion that is now taking place because we're a little bit into it. It's been happening for a while. So it's going to feel good. It's going to feel liberating in a way. And then Mercury in Scorpio will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. I almost said Pisces. That is in your first house. And so these kind of deep, intense, transformative conversations that you're having just around you in your daily life, it's easily going to flow with whatever personal growth and expansion that you want to achieve. Positive. That's very positive. Mercury in Scorpio will square Mars in Cancer. And so these conversations, again, that you're having in your daily life, it's going to create some sort of challenge to acting on your finances or the way that you feel about your personal finances. Then we do have Mercury in Scorpio square Pluto in Capricorn. And so these conversations, these really transformative conversations, they are creating obstacles or challenges to anything else that you're trying to do to grow yourself, or any other kind of death and rebirth that you're doing right now, as it relates to structures that you're putting into place, your strategy overall in order to go after the goals that you've set for yourself. And then on the 17th, we have the full moon in the sign of Aries. So that one happens at 7:26 in the morning Eastern time. And so the sun and the moon, during a full moon, they're at opposite points. So it's a push-pull energy. We have the sun in Libra, so sitting in your 5th house. This is a very balanced way of expressing yourself, again, with children, through hobbies or about your hobbies. And it's going to be opposite how you feel about your friendships, because that's the push-pull. Like if you think about your kids, if you have them versus your friends, they could be opposites. And that could absolutely be the case. Or it could be your hobbies, where you're spending all your time on your hobbies versus your free time with friends. That would be a push-pull. And just like with any full moon, we've got the sun and moon having different conversations with the planets. So we'll have the sun in Libra opposite Chiron retrograde in Aries. So not a surprise here. the way that you're expressing yourself with your children, through your hobbies, things like that. It is going to be opposite, healing that wound as it's connected to your friendships. Not a surprise, because we've got the moon there as well. And so the moon in Aries is fully going to align with healing that wound because it's all sitting in your house of friends. How you feel about your friends really gives you that kind of, I want to do something to heal the wound connected to my friends, or what has held me back from having those kind of deep, meaningful connections with people. And then the sun in Libra will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So that balanced self-expression, again, with children, through your hobbies, it's easily going to flow with whatever internal changes are taking place, whatever your internal growth is, it's going to fully align. The moon in Aries will sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So how you feel about your friends, it's going to create an opportunity for more internal expansion and growth. I love that. Sun in Libra, square Mars in Cancer. And so this kind of balanced self-expression that you're doing, again, with kids, through your hobbies, all of it, even short-term relationships, if that's what you're into, creates challenges here to taking some sort of action connected to your finances or expressing the way that you feel about your finances with that Cancer energy. But again, it's more of, maybe now's not the time. I would say this full moon is probably not the time because the moon in Aries is going to give you the same result. How you feel about your friends is also going to create challenges to taking any kind of action on your personal finances or how you feel about your personal finances. The sun and moon in Libra will actually also form a T-square to Pluto and Capricorn, just like they did to Mars and Cancer. And so what this means is that balanced self-expression with your kids, through your hobbies, it's going to create some sort of challenge to making any kind of structural changes to go after your goals, go after your long-term goals. And so it's more of balance versus taking some sort of action, making some sort of change. It's like that stay in this compromise versus change mentality. The moon in Aries will also square Pluto in Capricorn, so how you feel about your friends and those relationships. It's also creating challenges here for any kind of additional transformation to your strategy, to your long-term game plan here. And then same day, just a few hours later on the 17th at 3:29 in the afternoon Eastern time, we have Venus enter the sign of Sagittarius. And so Venus likes to bring things together. It rules relationships. It's all about what you value, what you want here. So it's a very passionate sign. And then you've got Sagittarius. It's very fun-loving, very adventurous, very much the free spirit, kind of free thinker type of energy. And so Venus and Sagittarius for you is in your 7th house. That's your significant other. That's your marriage partner if you're married, or the kind of those one-on-one significant relationships in your life. And so this is really positive. This is coming together, really kind of seeing the big picture, the truth of the situation with your significant other, and it's easily going to blend with whatever action that you want to take in your personal finances. Venus and Sagittarius will also trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so whatever is happening, whatever adventures you're going on with your significant other here, it's easily going to flow with whatever you're trying to accomplish in your career. Whatever your goals are, whatever dreams that you have set there, it's going to easily flow. Venus and Sagittarius will also sextile Pluto and Capricorn. And so these adventures, this kind of like free spirit, fun-loving, enjoying the company of your significant other, it's going to create an opportunity here for more transformation in your structures, in that strategy you have for success. And then we do have Venus and Sagittarius opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And this just indicates whatever you're doing with your partner, whatever kind of fun you're having, whatever adventure the two of you are on together, because this is a lot of coming together with your significant other. This is a really positive energy as it relates to that. It is going to be opposite any kind of changes that are happening to you internally. And then on the 22nd, we have the sun enter the sign of Scorpio. So that's going to happen at 6:15 in the afternoon Eastern time, or I guess the evening. It's fine, whatever. So anyway, so when the sun enters Scorpio, Scorpio is very transformative. It is ruled by Pluto. So this is death and rebirth. This is a lot of just deep. Scorpio likes to get deep. These are like deep conversations, deep transformation. And so the sun here, it's really highlighting that area of your life, and that's the way that you're expressing yourself right now. Scorpio is in your 6th house of daily life. And so anything connected to your daily routine or the people that you interact with on a regular basis, there is something very transformative about this. And this Sun in Scorpio will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so this is going to easily blend with whatever internal action, whatever growth, whatever that internal growth looks like for you as it relates to your person. Easy blend of energy. Lots of transformation taking place here. We also have the Sun in Scorpio square Pluto in Capricorn. And so this transformation that's happening in your daily life, however you're expressing yourself, it does come across differently here because that Sun in Scorpio does have you responding a little bit differently. It's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to any kind of overall changes that are happening as it relates to your structures, your just overall transformation. It could even be the changes that are happening to the money that you earn. The Sun in Scorpio will also square Mars in Cancer. And so this Sun in Scorpio, so these kind of, the way that you're expressing yourself is different in your daily life right now. And so it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to taking any kind of action as it relates to your personal finances here. So you can kind of see there, this Sun in Scorpio is forming a square to both the money that you earn and anything connected to your personal finances. And so the transformation, the way that you're communicating right now, the way that you're expressing yourself is coming across very different. But this Sun in Scorpio is also opposite Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so that wound that's connected to friendships and maybe mending friendships, having the types of friendships that you're looking for, this is going to be opposite. And it's because you're coming across differently. You're making transformative changes in your daily life, the way that you're expressing yourself. And it just indicates more the focus right now is on let's transition something, let's transform something before we try to ground something and heal it. And then at the end of the month, we have Mercury trine Neptune. So that's going to happen on the 31st at 8:33 p.m. Eastern Time, so on Halloween. And the impact here for you is Scorpio sitting in your 6th house. And so again, thinking about all of those kind of transformational changes, these would be transformational conversations that are taking place. Trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Whatever you're discussing right now in your daily life will easily blend with the goals that you've set for yourself in your career. This Mercury in Scorpio will also trine Mars in Cancer. So the way that you're communicating right now, the conversations that you're having, they are transformative, they are deep, they are getting way down into, okay, let's get to the heart of the matter. That's what Scorpio likes to do. Let's get to the heart of the matter here. It's going to give you, well, not give you, it's actually going to easily flow. You don't have to take any action. It's going to flow and you're going to be able to take some sort of action here connected to your personal finances. And in fact, that Neptune retrograde in Pisces, so those career goals that you've set for yourself is also going to easily flow with whatever action that you want to take connected to your personal finances. And so this is more of that green light to take some sort of action here in your finances because it aligns with the transformation that is taking place and the goals that you've set for yourself as it relates to your career. This Mercury in Scorpio will sextile Pluto in Capricorn. And so these transformative conversations in your daily life, it's going to give you an opportunity to really make more changes as it relates to your long-term plan. What is your long-term plan for success? What changes need to take place? This you're going to have to act on. It's not just going to fall into your lap. Neptune retrograde in Pisces will also sextile Pluto in Capricorn. And so your goals and your kind of a dream job, if you want to think of it that way, it's going to create an opportunity for more growth, more changes to take place so that you can put a structure to go after exactly what you want here. Mercury in Scorpio will be opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So these transformative conversations in your daily life, they're going to be opposite any kind of sudden internal changes that are taking place, but it's more of there's things happening outside of you rather than in you. And that's where the opposition usually takes place. It's like, well, right now I'm just focused on these other things. I'm worried about the inner me tomorrow or another day, whenever this energy passes. So we will see the same thing in a way. Neptune retrograde in Pisces will sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these goals that you've set for yourself, your career, kind of your dream job here, it's going to give you an opportunity to make changes or for changes to happen within you. But it's going to be one that you have to take some sort of action on. It's not going to happen on its own. And then we do have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, square Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so the career goals that you've set for yourself, your kind of dream job here, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to that inner personal growth that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is that you want to do internally to grow and expand. It's just creating a little bit of friction. It's that obstacle or challenge energy that you can work through. You just have to find a way to work through it. So Gemini, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.